Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. If you don't know, my name's Brittany and I film videos based around the paranormal and mythological beings. So if that's something that you think might interest you, quickly go ahead and click that subscribe button and we are going to dive right into the topic for today. So today is actually a little bit of a different video. I'm actually collabing with Selena, which she is a newer YouTuber. Definitely go and check her out. The link to her channel will be right down below in the info, and I'm actually going to have it right across the bottom of the screen as well. Just the spelling of her channel, just so that you guys can hop over there and check the second part of this video out. Because today we are going to cover, well, I'm going to cover 2 different urban legends, and then she is going to cover another 2. The first urban legend that I'm going to cover is the killer in the backseat. Now, this is a really famous urban legend, and I'm sure that most, if not all of you, or at least some of you, have heard of this before. I know growing up, I don't even know what sparked this, but I was always terrified that something was going to be hiding in the back. Now, my parents owned a Jeep, so as you guys know, with a Jeep, it's not, the trunk leads into the back, so it'd be fairly easy for someone just to be hiding there. So that's what I always envisioned. So every night that I would be in the Jeep, I would check to make sure that there was nothing back there. Even today, if I'm getting in the car early in the morning where it's still dark out, or if I'm getting in the car late at night, I will still check behind me because you never know. And it's crazy because this story isn't exactly paranormal. However, I find it even more frightening because it involves an actual human being. So the legend involves a woman who is driving and being followed by either a car or a truck. Now, different ways the story is told, like everything, there is slight variations, but I'm just going to kind of tell you the generalization of it. So, this woman is driving and she's being followed by a truck. Now, this truck speeds up really close behind her and puts their directional on, so it looks like they're going to pass her. So she's like, oh, okay, they're going to pass me, because I know that I get really creeped out when, a truck is driving really close to me. Tailgating just makes me, it increases my anxiety. So I get really nervous about it. So I'm sure that she felt the same way, and she was just like, well, phew, they're going to pass me. Now, as the truck goes to pass her, it quickly veers back behind her and flashes its brights. Now, I know if I was in this girl's shoes, I would be freaking out because, not only is this vehicle tailgating me, now they are flashing their high beams. So I would be like, oh my gosh, they're following me, what do they want? And I would just start panicking a little bit. So the girl continues to drive, and this truck continues to follow her and flashing its high beams on and off. So the girl pulls into her house because she's like, okay, well, my only chance is to basically make a dash for the door and call 911. That's the only chance I have. So she gets out of the car, and as she gets out of the car, the driver of the truck gets out of the car as well, yelling, lock the doors and call 911. Now, when the police get there, the girl realizes that the man was actually trying to save her life. As he went to pass her, he actually noticed that there was a man in the back seat with a butcher knife. And every time the man would rise up and go to stab her, the driver of the truck would actually shine his high beams and the man would cower back down. So he actually did the woman a huge favor. Now, other variations say that the the woman is being chased by, or pulls into a gas station, and the clerk at the gas station comes out and asks her to come inside because there's a problem with her card, and looks at her and tells her, did you know that there is a man in your back seat? And in another version, a woman gets into her car and there's a crazed man who leaps out of nowhere and starts shouting gibberish and banging on the car. The woman manages to escape from him, but no matter where she turns, the same man always appears, screaming gibberish and banging on the car. So she pulls into a police, gets out, and tells the cops that there's this man following her, and, you know, he's screaming gibberish, he's hitting the car. So the police offer to either drive her home or escort her to a safe place. And upon trying to get the things out of her car, they realize that there is actually a man in the back of her car waiting to kill her. So this story, you guys, is just, it's so creepy. Like, no matter which different variation of the legend you turn to, it's just such a creepy story. And it's not unrealistic. Basically the moral of the story, you guys, is to lock your car. Sometimes I know, like, I'm guilty of it. You don't really think, and you walk upstairs, you're carrying a bunch of things, and you don't think to lock your car. But anybody can just get in the back, and then what are you going to do? So it's also believed that this case, or this urban legend, actually spun from a true case in 1964, in which an escaped murderer actually hid in the backseat of a car, only to end up being shot by the car's owner, who was a police officer. Which, that guy picked the wrong car if he was trying to escape. But it's such an eerie thing. You guys just remember, you know, pay attention, always check your back seat, and please lock your car. Now, the next urban legend that I'm going to get into is the little girl on Knock Knock Road. Now, this urban legend is famous in Michigan. And it's the legend where it says that a little girl who was murdered will actually appear to a driver's car window and knock, trying to find the person who killed her. Now, I'm going to assume that the little girl was hit by a car. However, there are actually no known deaths of a little girl in this area. However, many locals and even paranormal investigators and just random people have reported seeing this little girl. So the other thing is, the real name of this road is actually Strasburg Road in Grosse Isle. Now, there's actually another version. There's actually a couple versions of this tale. However, the most popular is the little girl on Knock Knock Road, that the little girl knocks on the driver's window in hopes to find the person who killed her. However, another version of this tale involves, this area had a lover's lane. Now, this guy brought this girl to this lover's lane, and this girl said, hey, nothing's going to happen between us. Now, the guy actually got really angry and threw the girl out of the car. However, either her hair or her clothes got caught in the door, and she was dragged and died because of it. So some say that it's her ghost that actually knocks on the door. She knocks on the door because she's desperately trying to get the car to stop, and she's reliving the last moments of her life, which is just, it's so sad. Like, I couldn't imagine that. Like, something that terrible happening to me and just having to relive that over and over and over again. It's awful. Now, other stories talk about a babysitter who was killed for refusing romantic advances. Because I had to turn on the light because it got a lot darker outside, so that's why it's all the different variations. Well, I did want to share this story to you guys. We're kind of related. It didn't happen in Michigan, it happened in Missouri. And it doesn't really have to do with the Knock Knock Road, but it is similar to the whole babysitter concept. And it is quite disturbing and actually made me super angry. So, yeah. So, essentially, this is actually a true story. 15-year-old Sandra Holderfield was hired by Kennedy Snyder, who was a 26-year-old ex-convict. And she was hired to babysit his child. Instead of bringing the girl to his home to babysit the child, which I think that's a little weird that the babysitter is getting picked up to babysit the kid. I think that's a little strange unless it's like, you know, it's a close family friend and they know them or something like that. But I just, like, you're getting into a stranger's car. But anyways, he picked her up. And instead of bringing her to his home to babysit his child, he took her to a lover's lane where she refused his advances. Now, this made him very angry. And because he was so angry, he beat her with a tire iron, ran her over with his car, and shoved her body under a tree. Then he came home and he told his pregnant wife that he had picked up a dog who got hit by a car and cried to her about how beautiful the dog was. Then he drank DDT and kerosene and went to confess to a priest who drove him to the hospital and where cops showed up and he had his stomach pumped. So, awful story. Awful person. It blew my mind. Like, literally, I was sitting there reading this and my jaw just dropped. Like, one of the things that gets me really worked up is people taking advantage of children and, like, in any manner. So, and cheating and, you know, you're cheating on your wife with a minor or planning to cheat on your wife with a minor, and then your wife's pregnant. So, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry about my little rant. It's just, I was in such disbelief. It's so disturbing. But this shows, of course, it isn't the story of Knock Knock Road. However, this story shows that things like that do happen. And it's awful. So it's not that far-fetched that it could have been a babysitter. And essentially in each story, it is a female who knocks on the car. So it's sad. Like, to not be able to move on, to not be able to move into that light, to have to relive those horrible, horrible moments. It's so disturbing. Over the years, there have been many incidents on Grosse Isle. For one example, there's actually a 4-year-old boy who was pulled from the Swan Island Canal on December 8th, 1964. Now, his death was ruled an accidental drowning, but it's just awful. But I do want to know if you guys have ever, been to Knock Knock Road and seen the ghost of the little girl, or the babysitter, or the woman who simply didn't want anything romantic with that guy. So I want to know, I know, I have the tendency to go on rants, but I want to know what you guys think. What you guys think about both urban legends and what urban legends you would want to hear. Now, urban legends are definitely they definitely pique my interest. And I mean, when everything, you know, opens back up and stuff, I would love to go and actually see some of these places where urban legends take place and do an investigation. So let me know if you guys would like that down below, and let me know your guys' thoughts on this. And if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It would literally make my day. And don't forget to check out part 2 of this video. Her information will be right down below. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you next time.